So we held a vote last time and the overwhelming majority was a tier list, so I guess we're doing a tier list. A diss track tier list. Yeah, I'm about to bring back some nostalgia. Now the 2017 to 2019 period was an extremely memorable time for me. Jake Paul had just released the national recognized prize-winning It's Everyday Bro, going at least 20 times platinum and credited for being the most influential song of the century. Now everyone at this time seemed like they were beefing with one another for clout or something, and I was all here for it, but Ricegum led the charge right after Jake Paul released his masterpiece, and the rest was history. So the criteria I'll be judging on is A, beat selection, how enjoyable are the beats and the background effects to listen to. Am I deaf after hearing the song? These are all questions I'll be asking. And B, lyricism, how deep and profound are these lyrics? Like, are we talking about some Eminem lyricism or Playboy Carti level lyricism? You know, nothing wrong with a little yeet from time to time. And finally, personal enjoyability. Now before you go into the comments and tell me how the Grammy award winning It's Everyday Bro should have been an S tier, let me just remind you that this criteria is based on the feeling that the song gave me at the time that I listened to it. So it's all subjective and just my opinion, and we're here to have fun anyways. And I also won't be covering every single diss track that your favorite sub 10k YouTuber released, so if I miss one, just let me know in the comments and I'll do a part 2. With that out of the way, let's begin. Now conventionally, Jake Paul's song isn't a diss track, but I felt like the lyrics were so inspiring that I just had to include it and give it its own tier. However, Ricegum's diss track on Paul, rightly named It's Every Night Sis, is one of the most goated songs of all time. Insane beat, insane flow, insane lyrics, and even had Alyssa Violet, who is Jake's ex, on the track. Now, I don't even like Ricegum as a person, but he produced some of the most insane diss tracks of all time, and literally started this entire thing, credited to him. Now, if you disagree, what can I say? You just weren't there. S tier. Now, Quadeca wasn't even well known before he absolutely torched KSI's already receding hairline, but I'm sure he made his presence known. Now, Insecure is lyrically and pacing wise a very good song. It covered a lot of points on KSI and offered a much faster flow switch in the middle of the song. But what made this really stand out was the surprising aspect for such a small content creator at the time to do so much damage to KSI's enormous everlasting forehead. S tier. Now KSI's response to this was Aries, and Aries is a bit like the opposite, had a really nice feeling to it, but lyrically and pacing wise was lagging a bit behind. Now the beat selection was a very solid pick by KSI, so A tier. So honestly, I don't know why these two were fighting in the first place, but Tanner had 2 additional features on this song and it was still utter garbage, so I'm definitely deducting points. I mean, of all the people he could have picked, he really chose an Instagram model and a pop song artist in Taylor Leisha and Dylan Matthew, who both really had nothing to do with any of this.
Want an Instagram shout out? It ain't likely on this YouTube channel calling me his wifey.
I'm sorry, you're cute, but like, what does that have to do with Ricegum though? Like, the entire song has pretty much followed this trend of not really talking about Ricegum, other than of course this one-liner, if you offer me gum, I'ma say no never. Offer me gum, I'ma say no never. Which is just referring to his name, D tier. However, hold up, let Ricegum cook once more, bro. God Church, an absolute banger. I remember this had my entire friend group raving about this for an entire semester straight, bro. Like, the feeling was unreal. Lyricism was always good. When I'm out, you be staring like a sightseer. I will not call her baby, I'm not like Bieber. I have to say, top of S tier. So in August of 2017, KSI decided to announce that he'd be leaving the Sidemen.
Fuck Ethan.
And this caused a cascade of events that would unfold into what is known as the Sidemen diss track season, starting between Bazinga or Ethan Payne and KSI. So Ethan went first, and honestly, it actually wasn't even that bad, especially considering Ethan isn't exactly Kendrick Lamar. B tier. Now, KSI responded with Earthquake, a song very fittingly named after Ethan causing an earthquake every time he took a step. And with Rice Gum on the track, this is also a very decent song, high B tier. Okay, I gotta say for this one, I'm slightly biased because who could hate Road to Shaw? I mean, this is the scenario where lyricism is questionable at best, and the beat selection isn't that traditional, but man, Harry really creates an exciting feeling that you just can't help but think it's a great song. A tier. Now this is the track that KSI produced on Dissing Back Road to Shaw, named Little Boy, even though they're the same height. Now this song had a lot of hype surrounding it and created a fast-paced song, albeit not with the highest level of lyricism, but once again made it up for that insane feeling that you got. However, it doesn't really matter, it is still an S tier song.
Wait a second, didn't you mention 10 bars later there was a girl you banged after Toby that taught you a lesson?
Now because Deji decided to take on the entire Sidemen pause, both Mini Minter and Vic Star decided to join in. You know, this one's got actually a few decent one-liners, a few decent punches, unlike Nate Robinson, B tier.
What the hell were you thinking? Dropping lines about a Minecraft pig? Do you really think that was a dig?
Okay, so I know this song was meant to be a troll, but the lyrics did a really nice impression of Playboy Cardi trying to explain calculus for the first time, and the Indian SB didn't really do him any favors. C tier. So Deji isn't part of the Sidemen, but once again everyone and everything was beefing with one another at this time, so he used the pray and spray approach, about 2-3 lines per Sidemen that were average at best. B tier. So another solid diss track by Bez, this time a bit more aggressive as the final diss track in the timeline, a solid conclusion, but unfortunately KSI revealed that the beef was fake like a fucking Beyond Burger.
It was fake, motherfuckers!
And this generated a lot of views and attention, a really successful marketing campaign. The diss track itself, a high B tier.
I'm the OG of these diss tracks, diss that, break your bitch back, drop her off, take that bitch back.
Now featuring one of the most insane beat drops in all this, Diss God, who is an outside person in all this, decided to target Jake Paul and his group Team 10 at the time. Now he sampled T Grizzly's song First Day Out and completely shattered nearly everyone he spoke about. And this is probably the closest thing that we've seen to a rapper other than of course Vic Star, S tier. So I'll be ranking these two together, and at this time in 2017, Logan Paul was more of a Vine star and seen as this new up-and-coming YouTuber. Now both the downfall of Vine and increase in YouTube drove both the Pauls to switch over to YouTube, and they were an instant success. Now whether it was a marketing tactic or not, they went at each other after seeing the success of Rice Gum. The first song was very sudden and unexpected. I think the sheer influence of Logan Paul's entrance and literally including an entire boy band in it has to deserve an A tier. Now the second part was a very short verse, but it was advertised so much with such an insane build-up to reveal Alyssa Violet once again, A tier.
You're obsessed with. You look like your sister is the girl that you have sex with.
Now traditionally on a hot streak, Rice Gum being a juggernaut at diss tracks produced a rather subpar one, at least compared to his other ones against iDubbbz. Now he's always got that insane flow, that's a given, but the lyrics were more just flexing this time on himself and not focused on iDubbbz, with only about 2 or 3 lines actually about him. However, you can't help but smile listening to a Rice Gum song after all, A tier.
Talk like you eating some paste. Hey, is that your IQ or your age? Hey, say to your audience face. Hey.
Probably one of the most surprising additions to this list, iDubbbz of all people made a content cop on Rice Gum first, followed by an insane diss track featuring PewDiePie and Boyna Band. A lot different from Rice Gum, Ian didn't go for an insanely fast flow or a catchy beat, he instead went for lyrics that were carefully thought of and were completely directed at Rice Gum, and this was enough to cause the entire internet to go insane for a while, S tier. Alright, so there's my take on nearly every single YouTuber diss track. If I missed a few, let me know in the comments and I'll do a part 2. Subscribe.
It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.